We'll call this meeting to order. If you would please rise as we do the invocation and the pledge. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. Thy kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Superintendent, looks like we have recognition this evening.
We do have a recognition, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. These recognitions are not ever fun or easy, but yet we do these to honor the great work that some of the folks that have been with us for a very, very long time and touched the lives of countless folks and students. Mr. Summers is ill this evening, but Mr. Rendoni, I believe, is going to come forward. And so if you want to come up and say a few words, you can go ahead and bring up Mr. Gwynn.
Mr. Gwynn, come on up. Mr. Gwynn, for the last 5 years, I had the privilege to be working alongside you at Princeton High School. What I'm going to definitely miss most about Mr. Gwynn is every morning for the last 5 years, sitting there working metal detectors, the conversations that started off our day. So, Mr. Gwynn, I am going to miss that. I'm sure you will too. Congratulations on the service you have done, 20 plus years, 16 years at CMS, 5 years at Princeton High School. I'm sure you're looking forward to the new future. I wish you nothing but the best. But thank God.
I've got two versions. One's a cursory short version, one's a long version. It's 30 minutes. So I know that y'all don't want to get out 30 minutes late, so I'll do the short one. Basically, all I want to say is just a couple of things. It's a great place to work. It really is. The people make the difference. But I think that the biggest reward for a teacher is when you see one of your students that you had and they're doing really well. For example, last night, I saw one of my students, Mario, I don't remember his last name. He was in using the ELL program, and he just got his private pilot's license.
Oh, nice.
So that's exciting.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're doing better than me. I don't remember Mario anymore. I'm like, good to see you again. So from our standpoint, we want to make sure that we know that it's the relationships that matter with Mario and the other students, and across all the schools, and everybody knows the fact that you touch lives that you really never know, but it is good to see those students. Mr. Gwynn's infectious energy when you see him, on campus, he'll be walking fast and going. He always shook my hand and said, "Hello, how you doing?" And so we know that when we have people that really truly care about what they're doing and the students, it just makes it that much more special and a little bit harder for us to lose. But nonetheless, we hope that you have a great retirement and enjoy. So, on behalf of the Hendry County School Board, this is a certificate of recognition to Mr. Stephen Gwynn. In recognition for 21 years of exemplary service, we extend our deepest appreciation. Your knowledge and unwavering commitment to excellence have made a meaningful difference in the lives of many and will be cherished for the years ahead. Best wishes of health, joy, and ongoing success in your retirement.
Okay.
Thanks
Okay.
again.
Thank you very
Enjoy.
much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it.
Oh, wait, let's get a quick picture. Mr. Sanchez. Here. Wait, Mr. Gwynn. Y'all want to stay? Sure. There we go. Awesome.
Right, the blonde hairs in the picture.
Mr. Superintendent, looks like we have a few presentations this evening.
We do, Mr. Sanchez and Ms. Duncan, if y'all want to start making your way forward. board, y'all, over the last year, if you'll recall, we had the highest and best academic growth year that we've ever had in the history of Hendry County Schools. This year, y'all have been to the schools, you have seen the things that are going on, you have heard us say that the data still looks good, the data looks like it's doing better, and it looks like, we're doing really well. And so this evening, we've asked Ms. Duncan and Mr. Sanchez to give you kind of an overview of where we are as a district, where we are in the district as a state, and then they're going to talk to you about each individual school. I'll do my best to contain myself. I can't make any promises. If you'll notice, we're sitting here looking there and looking back at us are a whole bunch of school leaders. And the results of what you're fixing to see is because of the work that those folks did with their boots on the ground. The tip of the spear, the front line, call it what you want. Every single step, every motion, every conversation, every day is very delineated, very important, and the work that these folks have done is second to none. I'll say a few remarks at the end to wrap it all up, but I wanted them here on purpose to see this information as it was, they've seen it, but I wanted them to be here when you see it, and when it's explained, because I want you to make sure that you see their faces and they see your faces, and that they know that we love them and the work that they have done. I'll be quiet for as long as I can and let Ms. Duncan and Mr. Sanchez speak, and then I'll wrap it up with a few things at the end.
All right, well, thank you, Board Superintendent, everybody, for being here tonight. We are thrilled to talk about the data from Hendry County School District for 25-26. I would gladly say that when given a challenge, folks in this room certainly step up to that challenge, as you will see by the data we're presenting this evening. As we go through, we're going to talk about the following items. We're going to talk about some school grade band changes, because who doesn't love change, right? The state of Florida loves to give us change. We're going to look at our district data overall. We're going to look at our specific school data. We'll highlight some trends for you guys, and then we'll talk about our focus areas for this upcoming school year. And then we'll be glad to answer any questions y'all may have as well. All right, so as we start up, when we talk about school grades and school data, you will see that prior to the 26th school year, a 62 was an A and a 54 was a B. We have really set our sights on having every school become a B or higher in our district, and that was at 54. And you can see by looking at our data above, we are well on that trajectory of our schools maintaining that B or achieving that B. Like I said, with changes for this state, anytime, what is that phrase, no good deed goes unpunished, right? We have done great strides, and now the state is increasing that leverage point from 62 to 65 from next school year. So it's just something to keep in mind. We actually embrace the challenge, and we'll talk to you a little bit more about why when you see the progression of where we've been over the last few years. This group is certainly not afraid of a challenge, and we're going to take it right on. Mr. Sanchez?
Yeah, I'll just say that it's an incredible honor to be able to talk to our board tonight and to our folks watching us on the live stream just about the tremendous work that this collective group of educational leaders has done this past year. Because to sit up here and talk about the numbers right, people don't get to see the thousands of hours that go into like the sacrifices that people put to get to these results, right? And the numbers don't tell the big picture in terms of the lives that are being transformed and improved because of the impact that the learning outcomes are driving, all right? So in middle school, you see kind of similar trend lines in terms of the state's continued elevation of the minimum for A and B and C school grades. Prior to 2022, middle schools were pretty much on the same page with elementaries, right? A 54 was a B, a 62 was an A. And then in 24, school year 24, they rose that minimum of a 54 to make a B to 57. And that is a very historical year because we at Clueston Middle School very clearly remember that year. Because that was the year that Clueston Middle School made it to a 54% of school points. And that was the year that, even though 54 should have been a B prior to that, it was a 57 that year. So we missed out on that so close to that. And so for the following school year, you see how the state of Florida has elevated that to a 60 now. to make a B for middle schools and a 65 to make an A. And we, like Ms. Duncan said, we fully embrace that change. That is what we strive for every single year, is to grow and to continue to climb, because that's what our kids deserve. And so at the high school level even has gone through more changes, and it mirrors what the district grades. So the high school and the district and DAOF, which is a combination school, they all have the same sort of percentage breakdowns. And so, again, prior to 2022, same across the board, 24-25, it rose up to 57 and a 64. Then in 26, this past school year, for 1 year only, it went up to a 60, and that 60 is important because when we talk about Clueston High School, we'll talk about that 60. And then 65 for an A, and then next year, it's a 65 to make a B, and a 70 to make an A at the high school level.
So we're already aware that next year's bar is way higher than it is this year's. We'll talk some more about that.
Yeah, all right, so.
All right, so when you look at this slide, you will see all the grading categories that we have. And you'll see the blue is 2024, orange is 25, and gray is 26. And so you're really looking at, does our data year over year continue to grow in each of the categories in which we are graded on? And overall, you will see a continuous growth within every category. And again, that comes back to the leaders in this room really drilling down in their data, analyzing their data, and figuring out, like, how are we going to target that? How are we going to continue that climb in all of those areas of scoring?
Sure. Okay.
Anything you want to add on to that?
Okay. And there you see the numerical breakdown. Right?
Yeah, so what we're really proud of is, and I think the last school board meeting, we even had a conversation around our overall, like, third grade, our overall ELA scores in general, our reading proficiency. And if I could tell you how hard it is to move the needle even 1%, but much less, 9%. Like, they have really moved that needle. So we went from 44 to 55 over the last 2 years in our ELA growth, which is just phenomenal that they've been able to, put in that much work and really continue that stride. And then our math growth as well, from 47 to 58. And that's K-12 component that's grouping all of that information together. But they are just really continuing to improve over every year that they put in the work.
And these 12 components make up our district school grade, right? We get graded out of a scale of 1,200 points, each component being 100 points maximum value. And so you can see that overall, when we increase 36 points this year, that's still strong growth in comparison to the rest of the state. And you can see proficiency-wise, when you look at third grade ELA, and math proficiency, we're in science proficiency, pretty strong, impressive growth there. But what our areas of struggle, what we're going to really focus on this upcoming school year, is learning gains, making sure that not only the kids hit proficiency, but they continue to make that year's worth of gains every single year, because we're kind of stagnant in some areas. And even on the math learning gains, we kind of regress 1 percentage point as a district.
There's two important points, Warren, that I'd like to make on this slide. Number one is that we are using real-time data to make adjustments in how these folks that are sitting in front of us work with their staffs and work with their teachers to make the adjustments necessary to do things like, okay, how do we improve on learning gains? And what do we have to do to make that happen while also continuing to grow in the other areas? Does that make sense? And then the very bottom row, if you look where it says total, 24, 666, 25, 718, and then this year 754. The trajectory of our county, of Hendry County School Board's points earned is in an incredible upward trajectory. Please keep that in mind, okay? So look at how the county and as a district we're growing year over year over year in the academic attainment that we're doing numerically. Okay, thank you.
And I think it's good to point out, some of when you're looking at the grading categories, we really dug into what gets us additional points. I know middle school and high school have been really looking into those acceleration points. Elementary's really been digging more into science and targeting, what can we do to push our science scores along. So I really love seeing the science growth there as well.
Yeah.
All right, so you can see again the state minimum for the B is the blue line. The reason it is not all in one direction is kind of like we talked about before. The actual criteria of the grade changes year over year. But you will also see that for Hendry, that orange line is consistently going up. So we are on that positive trajectory no matter what the state decides to do with the actual grading score. If they go up, they go down, our trajectory is continuing climbing towards that B, which is getting us much closer to that A in general. And yes, that's a great stride. Everybody contributes to that.
And that,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
gonna see a pattern in 2023, that was the informational baseline years. That was the first year that the state came out with the FAST assessment. And so that year, they changed the grading bands a little wonky. And so it's kind of anomalous, so we put a little asterisk mark. You're gonna see that every year.
But it is just to point out that, the orange line originally, Hendry, was below the blue line, right? Like,
Historically, it's been.
yeah, and we are now above the blue line. And so again, that comes back to the work that's been put in and that positive trajectory. We are now above and beyond what's expected of that. So this is just kind of a summary of the slide before really kind of telling you how the points have changed over time and how Hendry has addressed those scores. Here is each individual school, looking at again 25 to 26. You will see one or two small anomalies. Every year schools have great success and great strides. Every now and then you have some unexpected barriers that come your way. And so we did have a school or two that had some unexpected barriers that came their way and they still thrived in the end. So we're still very, very proud of every one of our schools for continuing the growth no matter what barriers came their way this year. Some things specifically to point out is Digital Academy of Florida, who is our online program, did make great strides. You will see their orange made a pretty big jump. And not to toot our own horn in elementary, but we do have UES and Country Oaks who have accomplished the B for the first time. And since I've been here, they made a great jump from that C to a B, and so super proud of their accomplishments with that, alongside those that continue to grow in elementary and also maintaining the AAA. Like, that's really hard.
But the school that made the largest percentage point gain
Which one was it?
was none of the
Which one?
Lewiston Middle School.
What was that, a C to a what?
To a C to an A, right?
So they were so disappointed. Their goal was a B. They all year their goal was a B. That is, we want this B, and they still didn't make the B.
They still did. I don't think Mr. Sanchez.
The state of Florida started giving school grades in 1999, right? And in 1999, from that time until today, Lewiston Middle School, the highest school grade they've ever earned was C. They were an F multiple years, they were D multiple years, right? And still to this day, they have never earned a B.
Still never made it.
So,
Yep.
C to a 112-point growth in just one quick year. And so that represents a 12 percentage point increase for, right? So kudos to Ms. Kelly and Ms. Johnson and
Yep.
all their team for.
Back up, just one slide, I want to make sure. And also what's really, really important to note is we do have an online school through Digital Academy of Florida, and we've been working with them and we've been given some turnaround status, but their hard work also earned them a really high C as well. So we're really, really proud of their growth at every single school, brick and mortar, as well as our Digital Academy school did as well. So we're just very, very proud.
DUF came in at 123 points, and then you say, well, they're more than 112. But the thing is, percentage-wise, they're on a larger scale, right? So they're on a 1,200-point scale. And so that represents a 10 percentage point increase from one year. So in one quick year, DUF went from 43% to 53% of school points. So
Yep.
they narrowed the gap there. You'll see that in the graph. So kudos to Ms. Perez. I think she's here. Ms. Perez. And Dr. Staley too, because I mean, for a while there, Dr. Staley, and also kudos to Ms. Sanchez and Ms. Massey, because they were instrumental in helping total team effort there.
A lot of professional development provided from the West Side team to support Digital Academy of Florida. Because we saw the success that they also provided that professional learning to the rest of our Hendry County team. And so we do thank them for all they've been able to contribute, being really team players and helping all of us grow.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so we're going to go just individually, school by school. And you can see, all these slides have come to follow the exact same pattern. The school will be the orange line. The B line will represent the minimum state requirements for a B school grade, all right? And so as you can see there, in 2022, CHS was significantly below the B school grade, coming in right at 43. They're actually 10 points away, 43 to 53, 54 points. And so they narrowed the gap in 2024, real close. In 2025, they met the minimum requirement for a B school grade, which is at 57. This past year, they actually grew 3 raw points. They went from 571 points to 574
County
points,
members all
right? Which still accounts to a 57% of total school points. But because the state of Florida elevated the minimum score for a B for high schools to a 60, they actually, even though they maintained or even had a slight increase in their school grade points, dropped the letter grade, all right? So when we're not growing and we're not climbing, we're not elevating, we're falling behind, because we're gonna fall behind the state's expectations in terms of their model for school grades, all right? So that's why we have to prioritize growth, okay? At LHS, again, you see similar trends. In 2024 was the last school year that they were a C school grade. 25, 26, 2. What's significant about this is that when you look at all the 27 years of school grade history, right? There was one other time where LHS was a B back-to-back, but it wasn't in consecutive years, right? And it was in 2019 and 2021 because we had a gap year of COVID, right? So this year will be the first time that LHS will gain consecutively 2 years, right? And both years count with higher testing requirements that LaBelle High School will be a back-to-back B school grade. And so when you look at LaBelle Middle School, back in 2022 was significantly below double digits. There was a double-digit gap between their school grade and the B school grade. As you can see, the state of Florida has risen the requirement there for that 1 year. But even in that 1 year, that baseline year, there was tremendous gains there in 2023. You see how the gap narrowed until Mr. Harris and his amazing team there were able to accomplish that. They met the requirement last year at 57. And this year, they earned 58 percentage points. That's why you see a little gap there between the blue and the orange line. So that actually went up 1 percentage point. All right. Now that is not reflected in the official school grade data that has come out because they have us at LaBelle Middle School at 53%. But I just want to briefly explain what happened. So Hendry Success Academy is co-located with LaBelle Middle School. And so there's a rule that when you're co-located, the state combines schools data together. And so because of that rule, LaBelle Middle School was included, part of their school grade included graduation data of the Hendry Success Academy, which is a school that I'm the principal of. We have work to do when it comes to our graduation rate. We have work to do, all right? And unfortunately, Mr. Harris, that brought Mr. Harris's and LaBelle Middle School's percentage of school points from a 58 to a 53. All right? But our district team has already been in contact with our Department of Education. We have filed an appeal. Well, I think our appeal was very, we have a solid foundation, right, Mr. Swin? We have a solid foundation, strong foundation, right? And we hope that come August or September, when they get back to us, we'll have some good news back to report to make it official.
The fact is, LaBelle Middle School earned a B. They are a B school.
And then we go to Clueston Middle School.
Good Lord, look at that line. Holy mackerel.
It's just a phenomenal climb. And so you see there, from literally 52% of school points all the way up to 64% of school points, a 12 percentage point increase in 1 year. That just speaks to the tremendous amount of work that has gone in collectively, everybody buying in I remember having the conversation because Ms. Kelly was really beat up about this last year. Because, and I remember they came to Hendry Huddle Up with their green arrows up. Do y'all remember that? The green arrows up, all right? And I said, don't worry, Miss Kelly. We got this year, all right? You guys are gonna be a B school, all right? But.
You lied.
It's not B school.
It was an A school. It was an A school. It turned out to be an A school, so I'm really proud. Yeah, so, yeah, absolutely. So, what a remarkable achievement, right? That's something that, like we said before, it changes lives, changes the community, and we're nothing but proud of what you've done. So, Ms. Johnson, all right? So kudos to them, guys.
When looking at we're going to go elementary school data now. So looking at West Side data, you will see the trajectory as well. They were on a continuous climb with the orange. However, there were some, like I said earlier, unplanned changes and things that happened at West Side this year that were a little bit of a struggle. We've identified some of those sources, and one of those is our lowest 25 in learning gains, and so we really have Ms. Sanchez, Ms. Massey are targeting that, and we are still super proud of their data. It's still a super strong B, and they have a great solid plan for growth this year, and everything across the board is above the blue line.
Make no mistake about can you go back to West Side a second? Make no mistake about West Side Elementary. West Side Elementary is a solid school with solid learning and teaching happening there. Ms. Sanchez and Ms. Massey's work that they've done throughout the district through standards-based planning and what they have done to have their massive growth there is what led to a lot of the climb in the academics we've had throughout the rest of the district. They are two of the best leaders in this district, and a lot of great things are happening at that school. So I don't want that to underscore that line for one category that cost them some points. That's just how this goofy numeric system works. But nonetheless, I don't want anybody to think that there's not problematic there. Those are two of the best leaders we've got, and we're very, very proud of the things that they're doing there.
And I would add on to that and say that, when you have greatness is really hard to maintain. And students who are very successful getting those learning gains and getting them to move when you're already really towards the top is that much more challenging. And so that's one of the barriers that they do have. And so, yes, we're very proud of them. All right, you will see with East Side, they are our first
Check out East Side.
Left the B grade in the dust.
Yes, they are our school.
You didn't even see the B line.
Yeah. The very first school with a triple A. So they've been an A 3 years ago.
In the history of grading, when was the last time we had a triple A school?
I don't think ever.
Oh, ever?
Ever.
Oh,
I mean, not before my time.
yeah, all right.
I don't know. So yes, we're very proud of them. And again, I go back to when you have high performance in every category, keeping that or pushing the needle to get even further is just that much more challenging. And so they continue to rise to that challenge to push their kids further, and we're so proud of them. And I love that, our 3 elementary schools in Lewiston are really performing excellence that allows, the middle school to not even have a greater battle to fight, right? Like it builds the excellence for elementary to middle and then on to high. And so I look forward to, that trajectory continuing to elevate all of our schools along the way as we continue greatness. When you look at Central Elementary School, they are this year a double A. And so you will see from, 23 was our baseline here, which really doesn't count. They're really above the blue line across the board as well. And while they were an A school last year, they also continue to demonstrate additional growth this year and well on the trajectory to the new goal for next year.
Awesome.
LaBelle Elementary School, I must say, again, has made great strides. LaBelle Elementary School historically has been a school with a C grade or below. They were in school improvement at one point, not 2 years ago, and had the school grade of a D. We learned a lot through that process and are grateful for that process, even though it was very, very painful at the time. And, we still have a few tears every now and then reliving some of the trauma. But we learned a lot from that process. Ms. Howard has really been a great leader in transitioning that school to some new processes and structures and just really taking them to the next level. And you can see she has risen above that blue line for the B. This year she was 2 points away from the A. And so while our heart broke that she didn't get it, she was actually kind of grateful because she's just got a little bit more to go. And the line continues to grow. So very proud of the LES team. I do want to make a small comment. Ms. Howard and I had a sweet conversation this morning, and I won't give too much detail, but she just made a comment about somebody in the community who had acknowledged that, how great things are going at LES and they're the poor school. Or, there's just been some assumptions made about Lavelle Elementary School in the past and even in the community, and just to hear our community members see the change and believe in the change. It really takes great leaders to believe in our students no matter where they come from, and those changes are even being evident in the community and noticed. So successful for our students. Country Oaks Elementary, same trajectory you can see. They were oftentimes below the blue line. Since Mr. Brandon has come into play, they have definitely put in a lot of changes at the school level, a lot of updated procedures and just structures and systems in place and changing the expectation, and they have grown and grown and grown, and for the first time this year they are above the blue line and have
They actually get the bronze medal because they had the third highest growth in the district behind
about Country Oaks, it's one thing when you have 4 teachers on a team, right? It's a different thing when you have 8 and 9 teachers on a team like they do. When they have 900 and some kids, it is a massive undertaking. It's like walking into a middle school, right? And
they're bigger than Wilson High School.
Yeah, that's true. The things that they undertake on a daily basis to keep that ship running and then still continue to excel in academics is really a true feat to watch, and I'm so thankful to be part of their journey as well. So great job, Mr. Parantha. Up the Grove Elementary. Again, this was a first-year principal at Up the Grove Elementary.
I'm sorry, how long has that principal been there?
Well, the first-year principal.
First year?
Yeah, first-year
What?
principal. And a first-year change in assistant principal, so
Yeah.
it's like a new team. So you can see again that Up the Grove was under the blue line for many years in our past. We gave her a challenge this year, and not only did she embrace that challenge, but did so willingly, graciously, and mostly joyfully, mostly joyfully. And you can see that, through it all, they accomplished the goal. So they did make that B this year for the first time. It's been very fun to watch their school, just watch their teachers' belief in themselves change and belief in the systems, because I think, there was a period of time where, I wouldn't say content, but we just, sometimes we don't know that we need change until we change, and then we realize the change actually produces different outcomes, and it took a lot for the leadership team there to believe in that and to keep that belief the whole year, and I'm so thankful that it paid off in the end, and so now I think we're seeing our teachers, really jump on board and believe a little more also. So great job Up the Grove. And then
the Digital Academy of Florida. This is what we had talked about earlier, that there was a significant gap between the performance there, and look how much it narrowed, even with the state raising the bar, right? You can see they're raising the bar there with the minimum B grade. The gap continues to narrow, right? And that's really embracing the systems, right? Being very open to ideas, being very collaborative, right? Tightening up on some accountability measures in terms of student attendance and student participation in the class really has paid off. So we're extremely proud of the work our colleagues at BAUF have done, and kudos to them as well for that.
Great job.
they are by far a team effort of a lot of people in this room, so.
So a lot of this we've kind of gone over, right? Sustaining our acceleration, our middle school, inclusive middle school had a social studies percentage of a passing rate of 86 which is well beyond the state average, right? There's just like, our elementary math is approaching 70% proficiency across the board on average. Phenomenal. Our ELA math proficiency, like we said earlier, continue to trend upward, which is always good to see. Our high school graduation rate combined at 89%, both schools are 89%, right? It's the highest that it's been ever. And then we got some work to do when it comes to our learning gains, as we mentioned before. Science, we have 7 out of our 11 schools are below the 60% proficiency mark in science. So that's something.
But we are growing.
But we are growing. We're growing, but that's something that we can still continue to push forward and get to see more schools above 60% proficiency in science, which is a very reasonable goal that we believe. All right. And so this next slide just gives us our focus areas, like the things that we're going to continue to focus on. Our principals and our APs will hear a lot about this in the next this week, where we're going to continue to talk about this. Some of this stuff we've done, so it's no longer about like the what. Does that make sense? Like we know what to do, right? The question now becomes is to what degree is the how we do it, how well we implement it, right? To the degree, the fidelity, right? The quality of execution really becomes the question now. And so we're going to continue to strengthen the systems of standards-based planning and professional learning, right? When we talk about the collective combined effort, like everybody has a part to play in this. Our board was very supportive of the professional learning days, giving our teachers and our leaders more time to plan, more time to look at the data, more time to talk and engage in conversation about instruction, which builds that instructional IQ between our administrators and our teachers. And you see the results there, right, of that investment in that approach. So we're going to continue to enhance our systems for monitoring, support, and feedback. We're going to continue to build and use data to inform instruction. We're going to leverage high-yield instructional strategies with a focus on the science of learning. And there are 4 very powerful teaching practices that we're going to hear a lot about this year when it comes to the science of learning, right? It's just retrieval, interleaving, elaboration, and spacing. I hope you memorize those 4 things there. And then we will never forget about relationships, right? Because the science of learning proves to us that in order for kids to learn and for the prefrontal cortex part of the brain to really be robust and active, right, the amygdala has to be suppressed. And how do you suppress the amygdala? Through having wonderful rapport with your kids and having a positive environment, positive relations with each other, right? Because you're no longer fearful of, oh my God, am I going to be embarrassed or am I going to be stressed? So we'll talk about that, right? And we're going to continue to hammer about the importance of relationships, because at the end of the day, that's what matters, and that's the strong foundation that everything else is built upon, is relationships.
And lastly, I would add on to that not only the relationships with our students and families, but the relationships amongst the people in this room, and the way that the collaboration in this room amongst our leaders has grown over the last several years has been nothing short of amazing to watch and to be a part of. And I know that we just every day are so thankful for the journey, for you guys sharing with each other, for coaching each other, for supporting each other. I hear all the time, so-and-so principal called me just to check in and, say good job on this, or to ask me a strategy. And people are really sharing that. And it's so great to see that we're really all one family, one district, one team on a mission together.
It really has been remarkable to see the transformation from a competitive culture, right, where we were hiding things from each other because we didn't want one person to get the leg up on another person, to a really true open source collaborative environment where I want my colleague to do just as good as anybody else is doing, right? And we're all happy for each other's success. So that's been really good. It's remarkable, and it really speaks to the quality of leadership that we have in this room here today with us. And it's, like I said, it's an honor, it's an absolute honor to be able to share this progress and this growth with you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez and Ms. Duncan. It was definitely funner talking about the great spot we are rather than the turnaround program we used to have, right? So board, my comments and wrap up is going to be this. And they said a lot of what I was going to say, but I'll just say it a little bit different way. 6 years ago, many of the schools, almost all the schools, it was like a kid with their hand around their toys, and you don't even look at my toys, and no, you can't play with them. Don't even look over here. to the point to where the culture began to change, and it began to change for the better, so that as a district we could get better. It has changed so much, and over that period of time, if y'all remember, early on, as a superintendent, I knew that we had to make some changes if we were ever going to get better. If you don't want to make changes, then you need to be happy with what you've got. And I was not happy with where we were. I come to y'all right off the bat and says we need director of education, director of secondary. We need people that can work directly with this team, that can help them with their needs, that can help drive decisions, that can help with the vision, and then help make sure it happens on our behalf. That's why those two are here. That's probably been one of the best investments that you guys have made, and I appreciate that. Come back to you shortly after that and says, if we could do a half-day PDs, per 9 weeks, and man, that would really give us more time. There's a lot of research surrounding giving the like-kind teachers and peers time to work together and share their ideas and information. Man, what a difference that has made. I know that was outside of the box, and we scratched our heads and thought about it, but the results have been unmeasurable with regard to the huge impact that it's had for our students. And then as we brought the culture of the group of these beautiful people sitting in front of us, and listen, I'm not talking about just the teachers and the staff. Look at the school leaders and the district leaders, getting everyone to work together for the main focus of making Hendry County schools a better place. That has absolutely worked. Now we've got teachers and principals like Sarah Sanchez and Miss Massey. They are doing lessons to the other principals about standards-based planning. They are allowing other leaders to come to their school so they can model it for them. They are going to other schools and modeling and coaching them. They are doing extra work online for the Digital Academy of Florida so that as a district we can get better. That's a culture of spirit, of family, of relationships that we love. If I had a choice and I had a magic wand, I would make the grade part of this go away. Because when you think about A's and B's, and we were an A, now we're a B, and we're that close to an A, that creates a lot of anxiety and stress. And although we do celebrate that, I don't want to get caught up in that. Pay attention, and you guys have known for years we've talked about our schools were here, but the state moved the bar, and then the next year they moved the bar, and so what you have to think about is the upward trajectory of what the state expects. Our goal as a district, we know that as every individual school, we all have to grow. And we have to continue the pace of growth up year over year. Don't pay attention to A this year, A next year, B this year, A next year, B. That really doesn't matter to me as much as we have to have equal or better growth than what the state expectation is. Does that matter? And that's my goal. And we have done that. This group of beautiful humans in front of us has met and exceeded the growth expectations that the state has put out there for us as a district. Now make sure that sinks in a little bit. What's different about the students today with regard to their ability to learn than what they were 10 years ago and 15 years ago? Not a gosh darn thing. Has it gotten more challenging? Absolutely. And if you don't believe that, step into any one of these schools and sub for a day. We have more issues now. We've got a black cloud around us about this horrible thing that public schools are doing. And across the state, students are hemorrhaging away from public schools. And public schools are just doing a terrible job. But in Hendry County schools, we have found a way to not only challenge that and meet it, but grow and beat and outgrow the state's expectation of our students. I am so dang proud of the work that this group of humans in front of us has done. I'm so proud to be a part of a board. Do y'all know how many collective years of wisdom y'all have on this board? 86 years of wisdom. Reverend Brown was most of those. But it was a lot. But it's still, and out of the 86 years of school board that you guys have you ever seen the growth and the academic attainment that you see this year and last year? The answer is no, you have not. Here's the true impact, and here's where it really makes sense, and here's what really drives home in my mind and my soul what's happening. We can talk about grades, we can talk about points, we can talk about arrows and up and all that. What's happening with the students in the classrooms that we're responsible for? We are doing a better job than we've ever done before. We are changing the trajectory of their lives for the better. It doesn't matter that we have poverty, we have ELLs, that we have students with special needs, or where they come from, or how poor they are. None of that matters. The fact is, every student has been raised to a better level, and we're not going to stop. We still have areas that we've got to get better in. There's areas we still need to grow in, this group of humans has proved to us that they are good at that, and they're up for the challenge. I don't care how much the state raises the bar. We are going to meet it. We're going to work ourselves to the bone to make it happen. And so I want to thank you for what you've done as a board to help me remove barriers and obstacles and make their jobs doable and more better, right? There's been some wonky things I brought to y'all, and y'all talked to me and pulled me off to the side and said, I think you're a little crazy. But we still were able to make it happen. And the things that we did collectively have enabled these folks to do things in a rural district with as many things stacked against them as you can find anywhere in this country. And they still have high achieving schools and have made Hendry County Schools a high achieving school district. And for that, I give all of you a round of applause. If the board has any comments, please feel free to ask questions or make any comments.
I feel like I was just at Hill of Hendry.
Yeah. We're getting there.
So it'll be much louder there.
Yeah.
It will be, it will be. I told the superintendent last week, I called, we were chatting, and I said, you know, I'd really like to send an email out to all the leaders and just to congratulate you. And he told me that he was inviting you all to come to the meeting. So everything that was said here is what I wanted to include in my email. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart for loving our kids.
So I'd like to say, goes without saying, I always say something. I was back there in the 90s. I was there. I said, and what did we said, we got so many new English kids that it's hard to work with. What about the educational level of their parents? It's less than high school for most of the kids in our county. What about social economic status? If we're not the poorest, we were the second poorest county in the state. We had all these things against us, and for years. So what would you expect from a school grade? We're doing okay. And there's been such a mindset, as you see here, it's just completely changed. And in the last 4 or 5 years, it's just moved up. It's phenomenal. I really got to thank the principals, the teachers who work so hard. I go into the schools, it's unbelievable. The kids seem to love to be there. The teachers are loving the kids. There's so many great things going on in our schools. It's unbelievable. It makes me just so proud to visit. You guys are doing an outstanding job. And you really came from that mindset way back when, well, what would you expect? To look at our kids, outstanding. And where are the kids going? They're only going up. So thank you so much. You guys did great. From pre-K through high school, you guys do an outstanding job. Thank you.
How can I say this? I appreciate your ability to hang in there. Sometimes when you're working and you're working at great stage there, and I applaud Clemson Middle School because a lot of years ago, it was here for a long time, and but you hung in there, and I appreciate that. The next thing is to be able to work together. When everybody want an A, when you don't get an A, the one that has an A doesn't look down on the one that didn't get it, and that goes a long way. So I applaud you, and I'm looking for greater things in the future. Thank you for being so good. Thank you.
Well, I want to say I believe that wisdom comes from the very top. You know, it's his vision, and you guys all put it into play. I mean, without the vision, you know, we'd be lost, right? So I got to give Mr. Swindle a little bit of credit over here, even though he does go crazy sometimes.
I was just here.
But without his guidance and wisdom and great leadership. And the way these two have got everybody to work together is absolutely amazing. I thought early on in the board, I had mentioned one time about schools together, and I thought they were going to hang me. I never mentioned it again, scared me. You know, now everybody's sharing information like what Mr. Swindle was saying. Look at my doors over here. You know, it's not that way anymore. So thank you. And thank you for holding true to the half days. You know, I was never a fan of the half days. And you guys are taking those half days and doing something with them that's very obvious. So thank you.
You wanna, now we have about a 3-hour meeting. Do y'all want to stay? Y'all are welcome to stay. If y'all want to go, it's up to y'all.
That's right, that's the
Baby number 3 is on its way.
Oh, my God.
Let's see about that. Wow.
It's gonna be a girl. It's a boy.
Boy, we need more boys. What are you talking about?
I've always said that.
I have, I spent all day. What's that?
No.
Oh, that's half a baseball team. Wow.
One more? Oh, she's gonna get ready. Well, go ahead on.
I'm working really hard. After this, I'm working really hard to lobby for Michael.
Oh, geez.
Michael.
Okay, so Pushing the Envelope is our district marketing company, just to give you a refresher. We've had PTE for about 2 years now. So on the last board meeting, you all decided to table it because you needed more information. So I'm here to provide more information as to why the district leadership team feels that PTE is necessary for our district. So I also forgot to say, I did print out this presentation for you. It should be in front of all of you somewhere, probably underneath your iPads. I put it there early, sorry. Also, Alexis added the annual report link to board docs if you want to pull that up just so you have it in front of you as well. So this presentation I made so that I don't forget anything, and I'm sorry that I didn't send it to you all ahead of time, but I did print it out for you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have after. So today's reality is that public schools are competing for student enrollment, employee recruitment, community trust, public perception, and legislative support. Parents now have a lot of choices as to where they're placing their kids. So they're putting them in charter schools, they're putting them in private schools, virtual schools, and for this district, homeschooling is a big one. So a district can provide an excellent education, right? Which we do, you clearly saw. But if families don't hear about us, then someone else will control the narrative. So that's why marketing matters, making us look good, investing in our future. So what exactly does Pushing the Envelope do? So it's more than just a social media company. I think that many people think that they just manage our Facebook page. They do a lot more for us.
for the district leadership team, for principals, for anyone at the school that needs any marketing guidance, and I'll get into that more. But they do provide website management and analytics, which I'll get into at the end, on our district website, so that's in addition to our Facebook page. They also provide Facebook management and analytics, social media marketing. They create various posts. They do graphic design. Anything that we can think of that relates to marketing, we can ask them to create it, and they will, and they have. Any branding that we want to push out to the community, they will create for us or give us ideas, and they'll send it to us for approval, and then we will send it out to the community. They do help with community engagement, strategic communication planning, anything that we want to send out to the community that we want our marketing team to review, as far as sending out just large communication on various topics. They can provide letters for us. They can provide guidance on how to communicate, what time we should be sending out the communications, how often we should be sending out the communications. So there's a lot of guidance surrounding that. And then reputation of our district management. Next slide, there we go. District branding. So, a lot of you have probably seen our posts where we have acronyms like CLIMB and BELONG. That's a lot of that has been pushed out through Facebook, and a lot of that has been created by PTE on our behalf. They create professional district marketing materials, designing signs across the district. Any sign that you see, PTE probably designed it, and we printed it with them. Promotional graphics. They helped create the new Hendry Technical College logo. Maintaining consistent district branding and themes, which I talked about. So there was also a big initiative by the FADS, I think that's the superintendents, I can't ever remember the acronym, but the Florida Superintendents Association, they created this initiative for public schools across the state, Florida's Future Powered by Public Schools, and it was a statewide campaign to just help promote us, and they came up with monthly themes to promote public schools on social media, and then PTE created posts based on these themes. Professional branding creates credibility and community confidence. Website management, so I did say that PTE manages our district website, but also Facebook. So they monitor visitor behavior, they track popular pages on our website, they identify where visitors leave the sites, they improve navigation, so they tell us like how many clicks people make on every part of our district website. They tell us which parts are not being visited, so maybe we can look at that and then move them to different places on our website. So there's a lot of analytics that we can look into and to make our website more user-friendly. Social media management. So they create engaging content, they schedule posts strategically, so they look at the data on Facebook, they look at when the most traffic that we get on our pages, and they decide what's the best time to post certain Facebook posts, when's the best time to post videos, how often, how frequent. So that is something that they do on our behalf. We use advertising campaigns, so all the advertisements that we run, that they post, goes through Facebook, anything Meta related, and also third-party mobile apps that Meta also is involved with. So you may see ads on Google that are pertaining to our district, or just random ads on social media. I was on Instagram the other day because Instagram and Facebook are Meta, and you see Hendry County School District website just popping up. So that is all of the different networking that gets our ads. Let's see where I'm at. So support for our schools. So PTE has direct support for school administrators, directors, various people on my team, because we do manage the main district Facebook page and also our main website. Also, we have school and department website managers and school and department social media managers. So they do have direct contact with them. They can provide guidance, website assistance, graphic design support, anything that the schools need, they can request PTE to help create for them. Yeah, that's all of that. Data analytics. So PT in that annual report that you all have received, they provided insights on how visitors find Hendry County schools. Anytime somebody types in Hendry County schools in Google, it tells us, and it shows us all the various pages on where to find, where people look for Hendry County schools. So that's really interesting data to take a look at. Which pages receive the most traffic, which content performs the best, website engagement, trends, how many clicks per pages, how long someone visits a web page for. That allows the district to make informed communication decisions rather than just guessing. So why continue to invest in PTE? They strengthen our public image, they increase community engagement, improve communication, support student enrollment, recruit employees. They get our district out there when we're having to compete with other districts. We're having to compete with private schools, charter schools, home schools. They help us to promote our district accomplishments, help us to get the word out there. And lastly, they do save the district staff valuable time. I do want to point out that if we did not have this marketing team, a lot of this would not happen. Because we don't have a position for this, we don't have district staff that are dedicated to marketing. So investing in PTE is investing in the future success and growth of the Hendry County School District. So the last part I have, I'm going to pull up the annual performance report. I won't go through the whole thing because it's going to take forever if I do that, but we can take a look at the annual report. I think that's the top, yeah. So website analytics, so this is our district website. It kind of compares from the previous year to this year. We did have PTE last year, but also this year as well. So these are all the different places where our district, let me see if I can open this up.
What does, okay, good, thanks. Explain to us what the 172.9K represents.
So these are all the different places where people can find or have looked for Hendry County schools, our website. So these are all the different places that they've shown up.
There's been 172,000, about 173,000 people search for
Yep.
in what amount of time?
Yep, I believe just this year.
In 12
because
months?
This is just an annual performance report.
Okay. Could be the same people a whole bunch of times.
The same guy.
Now let me go back and look. Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot what
go
day
back
that
and
was.
look
Let
at
me
the
go back and look. But it's gotten 173,000. Dude, that's incredible.
What was the cost again for this?
The 3,000 a month. I think, am I correct in that? I think it's 3,000.
36,000 total.
That would be 36. Okay.
So this is how many views that our district website has had.
300, probably 340,000
Yep.
times that people have gotten on the website, and looked at it. Yeah, that was all you. Yeah. So I was staggered when I looked at the numbers. It blew my mind that there was that many people. I would never have thought that there were that many people looking at.
That's just our website. that we're
Yep,
looking
our district website.
at.
And
So
then
it
these
doesn't
are-
matter how they get there, it directs them wherever they're at to our website.
Yep,
What about the Facebook piece itself?
we're getting there, yep.
Okay.
So, but before I get there, I did want to talk a little bit about, these are the different categories on our website. So like I said before, there's certain ones that are in the red that don't have as much engagement, so that could be because users can't find it, so like for the calendar, we may need to move it, or I need to add it in multiple different places, so it's easier for people to find the calendar, but without these analytics, I probably wouldn't know that, yeah.
You're in the process of updating or getting a different website covered, you know?
Yes, so we bundled our communication platform with Aptigee. So
Okay.
Aptigee is a website company as well as a communication platform, so we are gonna spend this year moving from this website, which is Final Site, to Aptigee.
Okay.
Which I think will be a lot more user-friendly, and simpler compared to our website that we have now.
Good.
It's not user-friendly.
And I agree, it is not.
I'm one of the ones that like clicks on the calendar.
You're right, you have to keep
I
clicking.
can never
too.
find it, yeah. It would be nice to have that like right on the front page,
Right,
because a lot of
that's right.
people.
We
Yeah,
we
they
made a
always
bunch of
say,
notes.
what's happening? You're like, well, let's look at the calendar. Okay.
So this is Facebook social media data. So if you take a look at our total posts for this year, 295. So these are also including the posts that have been created by anyone who has posted on our district leadership or our district page. So not just PTE's data. It does have that little disclaimer here too. Facebook post engagement, we're up 28%.
How many
compared
views,
to
how
last
many,
year.
how many engagements has it had? I'm sorry, and I
So
really
no, you're
can't
good.
see it.
It's 118,000.
In 1 year, 118,000 views on our Facebook in 8 years' time.
And it went up 25,000 this year as it was compared to last
And
year.
that's huge, and if you think, in my mind, at least, and Emily, correct me, and Jason, if I'm wrong, and any team, the Facebook piece is a public messaging outreach. The website is an informational resource. And so if you can kind of think about them in two different ways like that. But, you know, in a day and age where we used to have a newspaper that everybody got once a week at least, you know, now we've got a really nice billboard, and it's been one heck of a good investment, I believe. And that's about it. You know, radio is there still, but, you know, but it's not, it still doesn't have the, if you look at who our target audience is, I don't think the radio serves all of that, right? And so this is the broadest stroke for the money, I believe, that we possibly can do.
Post engagement,
So is Facebook separate, totally separate?
then our district website?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yep. So our district website would be, when I say district website, I'm talking about this one.
I see that all the time.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then,
There it is.
My big hit, my big hit.
and then the social media would be Facebook. So yeah, there's two different sets of data that we're looking at here. But this one is just Facebook.
So do we have an idea of how many people we may have hired or how many students we may have had come to us because of our advertising?
Well, I think that we can have some kind of survey that we can send out and find out.
I think the answer to the question today, we don't have a matrix for calculating that. We don't have a way to gather or capture that.
That's what I was wondering, do we have a way to figure that out?
How did you hear about us?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
we could always add that to the intake form or something like that. But I think, and that's huge, it's not that that's not huge, but there'd be 117,000 views.
Yep.
I mean, that's that much, that, beyond that, people would not have heard about us. I even have rural colleagues in the way out in the panhandle, and they're like, you gotta tell us how you're doing your Facebook, man, and your social media stuff looks incredible. We're doing nothing like that. They said, in fact, hate to admit this to you, but we're copying your stuff, you know?
Well, and that's part of why I'm asking is, so the next part of that is, where are we targeting that? Are we targeting around college areas where, hey, you know, we know these colleges are putting teachers out, this is what we're looking for? How are they targeting where this goes, or can they target that?
I can find out. I don't know if they can target specific.
I know it is.
Okay, go ahead.
So yes, they can target, and they do target. It's called boosting. It's on the business side of the Facebook management platform, it's the
Okay.
management platform. And they can choose age groups, demographics, they can draw a circle around the map that they wanted to go to.
Right.
And then all of those users that log into Facebook, when those boosted ads will be in their feed. So that's how that's managed.
Because, I mean, to me, that's, if we're going to spend the money for advertising, I think that's something we need to make sure we're doing, is targeting where we can bring teachers in, you know, so that we don't have to have permanent subs or bring them in from out of the country and things of that nature. Not that they're not doing us a good job, but we would much rather have a certified teacher in that classroom. So if we can target those areas, be able to bring them in by utilizing what we're spending money on is,
And,
I think we need to do.
and I say to you that along the experience that we have and what we're seeing now, you know where the best investment of that is?
Yeah,
Put 'em up.
you calling you, well, hey, you need to know what we're doing.
Well, it's the Hendry County Schools. And so by creating the public, and what we're doing here, and one of the things that Ms. Goddard said was, we are controlling this narrative by putting the incredible things we're doing out there. If we don't do that, then we allow, you know, the black cloud to grow and people to continue to swell up about how horrible things are when it's not the truth. And so one of the things, the biggest thing I think I love about it is constant look at the great things that's happening, look at the growth that's happening. And that's where, you know, the people local, you know, the local students that we have in close to the LaBelle High School, we're getting the best wins from them, you know, and getting them through school, getting them back. And when they become older, they're from here, they got family here, they're likely to stay here.
Right.
And so, not that it's not important to advertise in other areas, because we should and we do, but creating a positive aura here is the best thing for our buck, in my opinion.
Right.
Makes sense.
Word of mouth and homegrown, I mean, I
That's
agree
right.
with that. You know.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
That is Mr. Adams' question. So with the $3,300 a month that we pay for this contract, if they boost the post, is that an additional fee or is that
It's
part of the
not, it's
package?
included.
It's all part, because I know that can get
There's
expensive.
an advertising portion of that.
Okay. So
And
that's-
and so we set a budget for that, and it comes from the overall. This is also an increase from these results. So I have requested that they increase their activity and marketing, so this proposal that you see is an increase in activity and a variation of some different advertising metrics, just due to the fact that we are trying to, we just live in, school choice is very real, and really, I feel like this is non-negotiable for Hendry County schools, and is to continue to market and move in that direction if we want to stay in the game.
Thank you.
Mr. Adams, I'm always impressed with your knowledge. Background, really, I mean.
Even with his back pain
So,
tonight.
well, I guess if that's what you think, I can't argue with that.
I mean, that's still, to me, more financially responsible than hiring and creating a position. Like you're saying,
Yeah.
you have to pay for another employee's salary plus their benefit package.
And
that's just
and
one
then the advertising
person.
on top of it.
Yeah, that's one person, whereas this, I mean, you have a team behind you, so that, it makes a lot more sense to me now, thank you.
So, are you gonna make a recommendation?
Later on in the agenda, there's a spot for that, this is the
Okay.
presentation point only.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, Ms. Goddard. Okay, now my time starts.
Oh, but no singing. 6:44.
I just felt the eyes.
Ms. Goddard and Mr. Sanchez just ate it up.
Ms. Goddard.
13 minutes, Ms. G, you did good.
Mr. Bassett, there's a little competition because I got us out so early the last meeting.
Oh,
She did,
yeah,
she did.
That's when apparently you're the one that takes so
We
long.
already failed with our competition.
Listen, we did tell her too, Mr. Swin, just so you know, that if this goes real long, she is coming in. I'm just
All
saying.
right, hey, listen, all right. Can do.
We're not kicking out a superintendent, but that's
Well,
running
that
the meeting.
presentation was phenomenal. The first
That was a good one, wasn't it?
Yes, it
That's
was.
what I said. Now, that can't be held
That
against
was worth the 45 minutes.
That's right.
So.
When you can rub love like that and get those results, we'll take it.
We'll stay here all night if that's what it takes. That's right.
But just bring donuts to us all next
Yeah,
time.
right.
All right, well, we will move forward to citizen comment. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any citizen comment this evening?
We have none at this time.
No citizen comment. We'll move right on to the consent agenda. Does any board member or anybody have anything they would like to pull from the consent agenda?
We're going to pull item Q.
That's the one I was gonna ask about.
You knew it too, that's why he was trying to speed it up.
We will bring it back at a later date.
It wasn't there. I couldn't-
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, the only question, I do have one question on item L, the lease building.
Yes, sir.
At $50,000 a year. Have we looked at what it would cost to purchase that building and will they sell it?
I'm not sure. I do not know. We can ask those questions and find out. And I think that Ms. Goff was trying to grow, those programs and make sure they were sustainable. So it made sense to rent 1 or 2 years, rather than starting things that we couldn't sustain or have students engaged in. Last year was a really good year, and so we'll see what our enrollment does this year. And
Yeah, I'm thinking 50 grand a year, in 6 or 7 years, we can pay for a building.
Yep.
No sense in continue to throw money at it.
I don't disagree, but I do want to make the distinction that this is coming from Ms. Goff's revenue that she earns based on certifications and technical things, not out of our general, our budget. Anyway.
Oh,
So just
yeah,
make
I'm
sure.
great with that, because that means she can expand that money in another direction if we buy a building.
That's right.
Not wasting all the money. But that's,
Okay.
but no, I mean, it's not a bad idea. I just
Right.
wondered if anybody had checked into that to see what we would be looking at, if they would even be willing to sell
I
it.
don't believe we have, and bear in mind too, that in somewhere between 2 and the next 25 years, we're going to vacate LaBelle Elementary School, and that would give us, I know, Tony's the one that called that.
It's okay, Mr. Houston.
So that'll give us more options, and so we were kind of dragging our feet a little bit before we made any too major decisions, because we will have possibly some site there to see what we can morph into.
Stop
That
the
is,
chatter.
that is a,
Yeah.
Screwing this man.
that's a good idea as well.
Okay.
So, all right. So, Mr. Superintendent, we have your recommendation for the consent agenda.
Recommend approval of the consent agenda as presented minus item Q.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Samback, second by Ms. Nelson. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, we move on to action item 5A.
This is, Mr. Chairman and Board, this is the action item over the presentation you just received from Ms. Goderich. Pushing the Envelope has been an incredible partner and helped us create and maintain an incredible community and regional presence for Hendry County Schools. And so therefore, I recommend approval of action item 5A as presented.
So moved.
Second. Oh, we're good with Mr. Brown.
All right, motion by Mr. Samback, seconded by Reverend Brown. Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We will move on to old business.
Well, we do have a 5B.
Oh, we do?
It's not printed on the physical
My-
agenda.
My apologies. We sent it out earlier today,
Oh, that's right.
and it is on the one online. I'm very much sorry for the late. I know I do not like doing walk-on items, but this is a standard one that we do every year. This is the 5-year work plan that we have to turn in to the Department of Education. And I made a mistake and got past the deadline, but they need it turned in quickly, so if you don't mind. It is as presented. It's a very standard one. It talks about the work over the next 5 years. It's already been submitted. Mr. Buston and his crew has already gone through it, and it's good to go. So
So is that the one that comes under facilities, or the school board has to approve and adopt a district-wide school building and facility?
that would be the
program?
one. Yes, sir.
Is that one?
Yes, sir.
Because I was trying to find this, I only got it this afternoon.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my
That's
mistake.
okay, as long as I know what it is.
Right.
So
Yes, sir.
moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, motion by Mr. Samback, seconded by Ms. Nelson. Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Move on now to old business.
Old business, the only thing that we have at this point in time, we will give them two real quick ones. One of them is a very obvious one, but Mr. Buston, if you want to give them a shot over the bow for what's going on the LHS site.
On site right now, the central utility building is, we're playing. We have a roof on it, the steel is on it, all the insulation's on it, it's all closed in, we're waiting for doors right now. That's where our chillers and everything's gonna be. Naughty is still working strong every day with laying the underground piping for our electric. Naughty has been on site since day one. They've been doing a great job. Our laydown for our tilt wall, they have made a couple laydown pads where we're gonna put our tilt walls down, and then we're gonna set them up. that last time I was there, which was a week and a half ago, they had 2 done. And I was gone last week, so I haven't waited there today for this day.
Great. The other thing that I would add with regard to facilities, I know you all, as you drove in, seeing the status of the 2-story white building, and so we're moving forward with that. And so hopefully within another week or so, that'll be a flat surface and additional parking for our
That's an air building.
Yes, that'd be the open air concept.
My office was on the 2nd floor.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gone.
My kindergarten classroom is gone.
All right. So, we got no further updates on the schools?
No, sir, that's it.
That's it? All right, well, then, we'll move on to board member business. Long-term technology planning.
We'll do attorney updates. Is there any?
No, I do not have any.
Attorney.
Oh, I skipped Madison. I'm sorry, Ms. Madison, I apologize. All right, let's move on to board member business now then.
Yep, this is just an FYI. We are all very familiar with Board Docs and how we transfer information. Board Docs is an online electric platform. They will be going away. They have been bought out. I'm sorry, Alexis, what's the new company? Diligent. Okay, and so we'll be switching over sometime over the next 12 months. Alexis is already going to go ahead and start the training for herself, and then she'll be able to train the rest of us on how to use it. We expect it to be some similarities to it, but just giving you a heads up, you don't have to do anything. It's not a voted item. We don't have an option that's going away type thing, but we just wanted you to know that it could be as soon as a couple months or a couple, several months, but we will be leaving.
It'll be after probably 2027.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're renewing our license for 26, 27.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just a heads up for the future there, and we'll make sure everyone gets trained and the information they need for that.
All right, very good. We have some summer feeding data.
Yep, that information's in front of you. If you have any questions about that, let us know. You know that we had some snafus at the last moment that caused some hiccups with that. However, we've already we have hired a new assistant director for food service that is absolutely doing an incredible job getting the training, getting the license certifications that is needed, and so that next year we won't have to experience the same thing again. So, Oscar Ogun. We just hired him. Yes, sir.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't recognize that.
Yeah. He's been three weeks now, maybe.
Oscar.
Olgin. O-L-G-I-N.
U-I-N.
Olgin. His fiancée is a lady named, y'all probably never heard of her, Sarah Cox. You know Oscar.
Yeah, no, Oscar, no.
Yeah. We'll make him come here and say hi to y'all at some point.
That'd be great.
Okay. 19 minutes. That was 19 minutes, Staley. We're close enough.
I was just gonna say, still isn't me.
All right. Do you have anything?
Appreciate everyone's patience tonight in going through these presentations. I think it's very important, that you hear and see and understand what's going on academically in our schools. That's what matters. Out of all the other things that we do, they should be supporting that work. So thank you for that. Thank you for being patient with us tonight. Huddle Up Hendry is July 31st at Clewiston High School. And so I'd love to have you all there. Y'all know that's an incredible event that has grown in popularity, and it's an incredible way for us to start the school year off. We will have another board meeting July 28th, I believe, is our first round of the tentative budget stuffs, correct? That'll be the Jason Adams show that night.
All right, I was looking forward.
Yep. So we're really excited about that. LaBelle, right, it'll be LaBelle. Yep. So other than that, unless you have any questions of me, I hope you all have a good restful summer. We're all looking forward to another exciting and productive school year, and things are just looking phenomenal now. We're very happy with where we are and the team and everyone around it. So other than that, call me if you need anything, and look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Your meeting director is getting ready to get busted because Ms. Busey sent her questions in with Mr.
Yeah,
Sammer.
he's got them, yeah.
So between the two of them, we're here for another 30
That's all right. All right.
30 minutes would be short.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I have nothing. Mr. Samurai?
Our academic performance review that we just had was outstanding. I'm so proud of our company.
Yes.
And everybody that's winning, but I don't want to stay any longer. Moving on.
All right, Ms. Nelson?
Okay. I think both of my questions are probably for the sheriff's department, but I'll briefly ask if you know. Do we have an update on the school speed zones signage and striping?
I know they're working on it, yes. Mr. Clay is working with the county with the plan to move forward, get it done as soon as possible.
Because I'm
Yeah,
getting.
they are on it, yeah. They have not forgot, they're working on it.
I've seen a lot of rumblings on social media about people getting tickets like after hours and days that school's not. Have you looked into that? Do you know?
I've not heard anything myself
They haven't
about
come to
that.
me. I just was reading.
Right, I mean, in my mind, I think, that they told us right off the bat, that they're gonna work during non-school hours, right? But just during school hours, they are enforced at a lower, speed to us.
Right.
I mean, if people, I don't know what to tell them other than don't speed. That's one way to not get a ticket, I
Well,
guess.
hopefully with the new signage, it'll be clearer.
Yeah.
And I think we do need to do a little bit better job next year about summer school, because it did catch some people off guard. They, just didn't think about it. Their kid's out of school, their kid's not going to summer school,
Yeah.
so maybe next year.
You need to advertise what school
Yeah.
the summer school is at, because it's not always at the same school.
Exactly.
Because I did have somebody call me about speeding. They're like, it's summer. I said, yeah, well, we do have summer school.
Yeah.
And we
So
did put
that
something
could
out
be
there, but
what's
it was,
happening.
I think summer school had already started, and some
and-
person got a ticket, and she was.
And I believe Mr. Clay is looking for the lights, so they'll flash and stuff like that around to slow down or whatever.
Good.
That would be good.
The other one was the new, what is it called? The new Navigate 360 or?
Yes.
I noticed that they have to be charged. Is there gonna be like a reminder to make sure, because I am terrible, I have all these
Yeah.
devices. I'm a little nervous.
It'll be a plug, just like your phone.
Yeah, I looked at the pictures, but I mean, I have my ring, I have my watch, I have my phone, I have my tablet, I have my laptop.
Add it
You
to
all,
Yeah.
right, so, but like for teachers, will they just leave them in the classroom on
They can.
Fridays?
It's
Or
gonna
or while they're there or planning period or something, I suspect. They've not even been rolled out and trained, showing us
Right.
how long it lasts or
He's-
whatever.
he's-
It's monthly.
Curtis said today it was, no, he said today if he's possibly, is it once a week? Or
Is
once
it
a
once a
month?
month?
Once a month, and you only have
Oh.
to charge it for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
fully
what's on,
charged.
what was sent to us says once a week. Look on it's the graphic, somewhere I read once a week. But anyhow, just.
Either way, if they
So
can
much-
leave it.
Okay, I'll trust you and Barbara, because I probably saw week and thought, holy
I
moly.
don't
'Cause I
think
can't.
week. If
Yeah.
it says week, then the graphic is.
But even
wrong.
month might be worse, because I really will
You'll
forget.
forget.
Or does that give I don't know what the
Well,
answer is.
I know that we will get alerts when they're dead.
That was
So
my
we will
question,
reach
it'll-
out,
okay.
Well, Clay and his guardian team will reach out, if they do die.
But it only
There
takes
are
30
alerts.
minutes.
Yep,
Yeah.
to be fully charged.
Well, why can't Apple get that technology?
Right.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
All right. Reverend Brown, do you have anything?
No, sir. I mean, I heard something, I didn't know the full detail, but I heard some people talking about somebody went off on vacation in the mountain, just showing pictures and stuff, and having a good time and all that.
The mountains?
I don't know who that was.
The mountains?
I don't know, it was somewhere, I was trying to eavesdrop, I didn't hear the whole story.
He was out of the country.
Oh, that's what it was.
I gained 6 pounds.
All right then, my kind of man.
All that Greek food.
Greek lasagna.
Yep.
All right, you enjoyed yourself.
I did, thank you.
All right. Well, this meeting is adjourned.
I was way short.